Cool. Well, I'm Lynda and I'm a life coach therapist, and I work with a company, or I'm one half of the company called Focus. So I've got some information if you want it later on. Can you all hear me? Sorry, I can't hear if this is loud enough. So I've been in therapy for around about 20 years. It's not my day job. My day job is I actually work for M&C Saatchi and I run their payroll for them. So that's how I met Akil and that's how I became involved. So I've got a broad knowledge. I know lots of things about lots of things, but I will not even try to tell you that I'm an expert on all of them, okay? I am passionate, so very passionate about anything well-being. So this is why this is my chosen subject to teach to you all today, okay? If you've got any questions, please just throw them at me. If I don't know the answer to your questions, I will promise I'll come back to you. Just get your information and I will come back to you with answers to anything that you want, okay? So, introduction. Okay, I'm going to read it for you, okay? Mental health affects us all. Mental illness is experienced by 1 in 4 of us. I actually think that statistic is very low. I think it's 1 in 4 that has actually been captured that suffers with mental health. At some point in our life, we all will experience times of stress and anxiety and low mood. It's a natural thing. You're high, you're low. Absences in the workplaces are mainly due to work-related stress, okay? Burnout. Anything, your boss just gets on your nerves. It causes stress. So it's very important to understand what well-being in the workplace looks and feels like for every individual person. And it will be slightly different for each individual person feeling it and also trying to understand it and teach it to anybody else. The objective. These are the things which you will know when you walk away from this class. If you don't, come back and talk to me and I'll make sure that you are covering all of those. The components of the term wellness. And again, they are always expanding. They're not always going to stay the same. They're adding to, things are being taken away from it. It always expands. How to build emotional resilience. The various stages to cope with stress. What self-care means to each of us. The benefits and importance of physical activity. The signs and symptoms of burnout and depression. Definition of stress. The difference between imposter syndrome and reality. That's a huge one. So, okay, then let's get into it. Part 1, the different causes of mental health problems. So mental health, I hate the term personally. I think we should just be talking about health. I don't think there is a difference between mental health and physical health. I think it's all health. Without your brain, you can't have a functioning body. So health is health. But not many people pay much attention to their mental health. It's all about going to the gym, making sure that you're fit and healthy in that aspect. But what about the brain? What about what you need from an emotional point of view? Okay, that's your mental health. You can have good mental health and you can have bad mental health, but each one, you've still got mental health. You don't have to be a diagnosed schizophrenic for that to mean that you are in bad mental health. You could just be having an off day. That's bad mental health. If you've got a cold, that doesn't mean that you are physically unwell with, the rest of your body is going to shut down. So you can have days where you have bad mental health as well as being good mental health, okay? So it's really important to understand that it's not just the mental capacity of the brain collapsing and you being diagnosed and having to go to psychotherapy and all of that means that you're in bad mental health. It could be that you've had 2 or 3 days where you just really feel low. It's bad mental health. Go and look after yourself. It's really important to look after yourself. If you've got a cold, you'll take a tablet, you'll take some medication. You look after yourself. Same thing with the mental health. We've just covered that. Being mentally healthy doesn't just mean that you don't have a mental health problem. So again, it's just really want this to be reiterated to you, that because you are mentally healthy doesn't mean that you have got good mental health. It just means that you haven't been diagnosed as one of the other, illnesses. Yeah. So really look after it, and there are certain things that you need to look out for. If you're in good mental health, you can make the most of your potential, cope with life, and play a full part in your family, workplace, community, and among friends. That's why you need to have good mental health. All makes sense so far. Some people call mental health emotional health or well-being, and it's just as important as good physical health. Yep, mental health is everybody's business. Yes, 100%. If your next door neighbour is feeling down, it is your business that they're not, because they might start throwing stuff in your garden and you don't know why. They're in a bad place. We all have times when we feel down or stressed, okay? There is a huge stigma around mental health. And I can honestly say, specifically and definitely within the Black community, we do not talk about our feelings, period, okay? Let alone show that we're not feeling anything but fantastic. You can't have one without the other. If you've got good mental health, you must know what bad mental health looks and feels like. You can't appreciate good mental health if you haven't been through a bad time. The same way when you're in a bad time, you can't have something to look forward to if you haven't been in good mental health. They are hand in hand and both important, but you must start looking for certain signs. We must feel comfortable talking about how we feel. I'm not saying you've got to go and get on a bus and go to Tesco's and stand outside Tesco's and tell everybody that, you know, you're in a depression. No, but you have to admit it to yourself first. You are the most important person in your life, so you should be admitting, I'm not in a good place. What can I do to help? Where can I go? Who can I speak to? And even if you find somebody who you don't think wants to hear it, tough on them, talk. Yeah, because sometimes just offloading is all you need. You don't even need them to help. You don't even need them to fix it for you, but just getting it off your own shoulders, leaving it somewhere else and being able to walk away from it is also good practice. I do it to myself every day. I'll wake up in a bad mood. I don't mean I wake up in a bad mood every day. If I wake up in a bad mood, I will stand in front of my bedroom mirror and I will talk to myself about how I'm feeling. And I'll look at myself as if myself is somebody else. And I will offload to myself and say, this isn't feeling good. What am I supposed to do with this? Where do I go with this? How can I feel better? What can I do to help myself to feel better? The power in that is unbelievable. You don't always get the answer. But because you've spoken it, you're now looking for the answer. And it's much better to be looking for the answer to something like that than to be constantly looking at the fact that you're feeling low. Yeah? But why do you only speak to yourself if you're feeling down? Do you only talk to your friends if you're feeling down? If you're in a good mood, you'll talk to your friends. So why not talk to yourself when you're in a good mood too? Then you'll notice when you're not in a great place. Get up in the morning and say, morning, Lynda, how you doing? You're looking good, girl. Fix your hair. And go about your business. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You are your own best friend. You are the only person you have to wake up with every single morning of your life. Nobody else has to do that, but you have to do that with yourself. So why not love yourself enough to talk to yourself and check in? How you feeling? What you got planned for the day? How do you want the day to go? What are you going to look for today? As opposed to get up, drink your coffee, brush your teeth, get on the bus, go to work, do your work, come home, cook the dinner, have a bath. You allow yourself to get stuck in this monotony and you don't take care of your own mental health. You shouldn't be taking care of your mental health when it's bad. You should be acknowledging your mental health when it's good so that you will notice when it's bad. Yeah? You know, we've got women here, you know, when you put on that pair of jeans that was favorite and it's now, you know, the summer, you want to put them on again, they're a bit tight. You notice that. You notice that. You do something about it or not, depends on how you feel. But you notice those kind of things. So notice all the other things that are really important too. And I'm not saying that's not important. If it is important to you, it's important. But notice everything about you. Notice the small changes about yourself. It's not difficult to do. You just have to get into the habit of doing it. It's a new habit. That's it. My class is finished. That's how you do it. Signs and symptoms. So again, we're looking at what you were saying. What are the physical signs? What are the emotional signs? And what are the behavioral signs of burnout? We're now going straight back into the workplace, okay? So think about when you're at work. Each of you, I want you to give me an example of what is a physical sign of burnout. You can even join in burnout at school. Irritation, good one, yeah. Anyone else? Very tired, even first thing in the morning, very tired, yeah. Yeah, I can't syndrome, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yep, shutting the doors, getting away from it all great signs of the physicals. This is what it physically does to you. It makes you want to hide, fight or flight, makes you want to run. Okay, can't is one of the favorite words that come into your mind when you're in burnout, and you just physically are tired. But emotional signs, it's a bit tougher. It's a bit tougher because not many people talk about their emotions. Irritability is an emotion. Yep, absolutely. Really sad. Yep. Vulnerable. One of the biggest signs is anger. Angry at everything and everyone. As soon as somebody says to you, do so, oh, for God's sake, I can't do that. Can't comes into it, but now you're angry. Don't know who you're angry at, but you're angry. Yeah. Behavioral signs. What do you do when you're burnt out or becoming burnt out? What do you do? Your tone would be different. It might not even be the negative side. You might be overly happy. Oh, hi, can I help you? You're burnt out. You can't take anymore, but you don't want anyone to know it. Oh, huge one. Huge one. You cannot focus for love nor money when you are burnt out. Yeah. So we all know this. What do we do about it? There you go. Feeling tired and drained most of the time. Lowered immunity, that didn't come up. You'll catch a cold for no reason as we haven't been around anybody. Frequent illnesses all the time. I know that's what happens. This is the big one for me. This is a huge one for me. When I'm suffering burnout, I'll get a migraine and I'm sick. Yep. Say it again. Spot, there you go. Yep. Acne, frequent headaches, muscle pain, changing appetite, sleep habits. Yeah. Big one for me, appetite. I just eat more. I mean, I eat a lot already, but I just want to binge eat. Comfort food. Burnout is one of the causes of stress. Burnout leads you to stress. When you are burnt out, you've got nothing left. There is nothing, everything escapes you. You physically feel you can't, you just don't want to, you can't, and that's stress. Stress is the pressure. Yeah, burnout and stress go hand in hand. So sense of failure, self-doubt. These are the emotional signs. Feeling helplessness, trapped and defeated. Detachment, feeling alone in the world, loss of motivation, increase in cynical and negative outlooks, decreased satisfaction and sense of accomplishment. Yeah, burnout's huge and definitely in the workplace. We've got to be careful of it. Yeah, I'll cover later on how to say no. There's more burnout ones there. I think we've covered all of those. Again, look, skipping work and coming in late and leaving early. Yeah, if you're at school, that will be playing truant, or missing the first period, or going into the sick room, or anything to get away from what it is you're supposed to be doing. That's basically what we do. Procrastination, it was all there, using food, drugs and alcohol to escape. It's quite scary, isn't it? When you look at it like that and it's all written down, you begin to realize the importance of really looking after yourself in the workplace, and especially around burnout. We are all under extreme pressure in work and in schools to achieve. Yeah, you've got now the educational system, which is now this tier, which is a competition. We've got to get our schools get the best grades, so we've got to have the best students, and you've got to do this. Kids come into school, they spend all their day in school, then they go home and they do the same thing at home with homework. Teachers don't stop work at 3:30. They've then got to go home and do all the marking. It's huge. It's huge. You know, I go to work 9 to 5. I've got 37.5-hour week, but my boss wants me to do 40 hours in that week. We all get this. We all have this. And even if you're not in the workplace, you go home, you've got kids, you've got toddlers, you've got teenage kids that have got their needs. You've got this baby screaming, you've got to buy the nappies and you've got no money, and burnout. No matter where you are in society, no matter what it is that you are doing, you are prone to burnout. Yeah. Stress. What is stress? Depression self-assessment. Could you be stressed? There are many symptoms of depression, including low mood, feeling of hopelessness, lower self-esteem, yada, 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 yada. Okay. There is a questionnaire. I'm not going to go through it. If you go through onto the website, you can actually just do this questionnaire and it will tell you whether your body is stressed. There are two types of stress. There's stress on your body and there's stress on your mind. When you think of what the word stress means, it's pressure. Yeah. A state of mental and emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. That is the dictionary definition of stress. Yeah. And highlighted catastrophic. That one really standing out. It can be catastrophic to not only your mental health, but to your physical health. Yeah, it will start mentally, but it can have a serious toll on your, as I said, when I get stressed, migraine. The worst migraine attack I ever had, I was in hospital for 5 days and off work for 3 months. Huge. Okay, so don't poo-poo it. So signs of stress, causes of stress, dealing with stress, and then we've got some useful content. Have I gone through this too fast? We're going to look at one of the big ones that stress can cause, which is the imposter syndrome. Does everybody know what imposter syndrome is? No? So imposter syndrome is when you believe and you feel that you're out of your depth. You can't do this. I had imposter syndrome when I came here. As soon as Akil said that this was going out on the channel, I thought, oh, I can't do this. I can sit down and talk to you all individually, not a problem. I was speaking to you and I don't stop talking, okay? I am a talker. But when I knew that other people were going to be watching me, what if I do it wrong? There's got to be somebody else that is better at this than me. Why am I doing this? I can't do this. That's imposter syndrome. As I say, I've been a counselor and life coach person for 25 years. Okay, I've been on the planet 55. I've got 2 grown-up children and 3 grandchildren. I know a little bit about emotional strains and stresses. Okay, I've been a counsellor all of their lives, so I do know my stuff. But to stand up here in front of you all and talk to you about it, oh, imposter syndrome kicked in big time. I still get imposter syndrome when I go into the office and I do my day job. Again, I've been doing that for 30 odd years. But if it goes wrong, then I get imposter syndrome. I should have seen that. I shouldn't have done that. That shouldn't have happened. I've been doing this for too long. Or if somebody asks me a question, I do payroll. I've been doing it for 30 years. I am self-proclaimed expert in payroll. But you'll get somebody who'll come and ask me a question I haven't got a clue on. Imposter syndrome. Why do I have to know everything about everything in order for me to not get imposter syndrome? Because of stress. Okay? Because stress says that I should know it. So when I don't know it, I can't be any good at it. Imposter syndrome. Don't need somebody else to validate you. Okay? Because once you get over that hurdle, you will never suffer with imposter syndrome. Or at least when you do, you can pull yourself right back. I.e., I came in here, Akil said, we want to teach 1,000 people. My knees went weak. I can't do this. It's like, hold up a second. And I talk to myself harsh. I talk to myself like I'm my own child. Fix up. Akil wouldn't have asked you to come and do this if he didn't think you could do it. Little head. Yeah, but. Shut up. Not hearing yeah, buts. There's no such thing as but. Akil wouldn't have asked me to come here and do this if he didn't think I could do it. Do you think you can do it? Yes, imposter syndrome can go. Don't care what anybody else thinks about you. That doesn't mean don't care about anybody else. That doesn't mean go out there and absolutely mess up the whole wide world because you don't care. That's not what I'm saying. But care what you think about you first. Care what you know first. Make that be what goes out into the world. Make that be what people see. Teach people to care about you the way you care about you. Sounds so easy, but we are all human and we all do live in a community where we do rely on other people for certain validations. Understand that's what you're doing. That's the key. Understand that that is what you're doing. And as soon as it doesn't fit with how you feel, as soon as you start to feel just a slight bit negative, know that that's what you're doing and fix your thought process. Teach yourself. Get rid of imposter syndrome by understanding that only you need to be aware of who you are. What anybody else thinks and says about you is none of your damn business. That's their opinion, and they're entitled to it. Understand that your perception of what somebody else thinks of you may not be true. That's imposter syndrome. So you go in there as the youngest and you instantly think that person's older than me, they know more than me. And because of the way they talk, they've got confidence. They've been in a job for a long time. They've got confidence. I'm standing up here, I'm confident about what I'm talking about because I know this stuff. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to poo-poo what you think. And I'm also not going to assume that you think that I am something else. Because if you do, it doesn't matter. But my assumption can be wrong. So just be you. Just be the youngest in the office and go in there and learn what it is that you want to learn. Go in there and do what it is that you want to do. Go in there and change the world. And if somebody doesn't like it, they will either tell you or they won't. If they tell you, you can have a conversation about it. But if you go in there as the youngest and assume that they are looking at you because you're the youngest and their behaviors are telling you, again, your assumption that they think they know more than you, that's you. That's all going on with you. That's got nothing to do with anybody else. You are assuming that they think, oh, look at this young bit. I'm the oldest. I walk in there and I just act like I'm the youngest. Yeah, I get upset when people tell me they was born in 1990 something. What? That was yesterday. Just remember that's imposter syndrome coming in and trying to tell you that because you're the youngest, you don't know anything. And you're taking that as read. You're saying, yeah, that's true, that's true. And as soon as you start telling yourself that that's true, you start seeing evidence of it being true. Try telling yourself that's a load of crap. Then you'll start seeing evidence of that thought is a load of crap. You get what you look for. Yeah? Have you ever been in a bad mood and the only people that gravitate towards you are the people that are in a bad mood? Because you're in a bad mood and you're noticing you're in a bad mood, you're in a really, really foul mood, you'll sit on the train and somebody there, you'll hear somebody on the phone to their brother having a big argument. You won't hear the laughter of the child sitting there. You won't hear somebody over there singing a little song, but you will hear the man down the end there having a full-blown argument with his aunt, his uncle, his brother, whoever, because you're angry. It's being evident to you. It's showing itself. You need evidence that life is shit. So that's what you're going to do. That's what you look for. Have you ever thought to yourself, I need a new car or I need a new pair of trainers or something, and you've got the picture in your mind and you walk out and all of a sudden you see that car or you see them trainers. You think, oh, they're the trainers that I want. There's that car I want. Everywhere you go, you see it because you're bringing it. You're thinking it. So when imposter syndrome comes into your world, remember what it is. Stop looking for evidence of it. Stop looking to validate it and look to devalue it. You're not good enough. Yes, I am. This is a perfect diagram of what imposter syndrome is. This is what it feels like when you are suffering with imposter syndrome. That's what you know, but everybody else knows so much more about you. Going back to very much to what you were saying. Oh, I shouldn't belong. I don't belong here. This is ridiculous. That's reality. Everybody knows the same, just different. So they'll know a bit of yours, you'll know a bit of theirs. That's the reality. So the reality actually is imposter syndrome should not even exist. When you look at what it is, but what reality is, we're all equal. We've just got different knowledges. We just know different things. We know bits of other stuff, but we are all as equal. They're all the same size, those circles. I love that diagram. "10 ways to overcome imposter syndrome." Yeah, these are the practical things that you can do. Keep a journal. This is really good. This actually helps with so many different emotional traits. Yeah, keep a journal. Just write down, just a line. Don't have to go into long details. Not like when you're 16, you're like, I love John. It's not one of those journals. Just keep a jot of roughly how it's been today. Set yourself some goals, small goals. Yeah, I'm not saying, right, tomorrow I'm going to run the world. No. Just some small little steps. Tomorrow I don't want to feel this way, or tomorrow I'm going to eat lunch in the canteen with everybody else. Just some small goals. Yeah. Build a professional support network. Come along to a Saturday school and meet other like-minded people. Get 360 feedback. So with your imposter syndrome, ask people to give feedback on your work. Yeah, get them to physically tell you what it is instead of you assuming what it is that they think. Because again, going back to that diagram, what you think isn't actually reality. Update your CV. That is huge. I do this all the time. Just writing your CV and telling yourself what you know is powerful. You forget the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. I teach people to write a list, a to-do list. Every day you write a to-do list. So it could be open emails, check posts. It could be the same mundane things. That's your CV that you're writing there. Anytime I've had to update my CV, I've always just gone back to my lists. What's in here that's new? Oh, that ain't on my CV. That can go on. Oh, yeah, I did that. That can go on there. Because you're starting then to see your own power, what you can do. And all of a sudden you'll get a little nugget in there. No one else can do that. Yeah, I'm only 21 and they're all 55 and they can't do that. I did that. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, and it's very good at building up your own power. Get a coach. In case I didn't tell you, I'm also a life coach and I do have cards if anybody wants to know. Recognize learning and failure are okay. Can I also just say there is no such thing as failure. You cannot fail at anything. Anything, because as soon as you succeed at something, you want to improve on it. You want to move forward. So does that then mean that the success was a failure because it's not finished? You're never going to get it done. Never. Because every time you get somewhere in life and you think, yeah, that's what I've achieved it. I've bought my house. Yeah, I've got to decorate. I've got to knock out the kitchen. I've got to build the bath. I've got to do this. You're still building on it. So you're always improving. Yeah. Keep a positive feedback file and start with giving yourself the positive feedback. You had a good day today. Yeah. Do things outside of work that make you feel good. Don't live to work. Work to live. Yeah, very important. You, lovely lady, go to school, learn what you need to learn and come home. School life finished. Go and play with friends, go and communicate with family. It's not all and everything. It shouldn't just take over your whole life. Say it out loud to someone you trust. I feel like a fraud. I just stood here. Don't know how many people are tuning in, but I have just told the world, basically, I suffered from imposter syndrome 5 minutes before I came up here to speak to you. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm human. I'm still up here talking. If you all hate me, if no one's tuned in, I've still got to leave here and go and cook dinner for the old man and do some ironing and get on with my normal life. It's not going to affect the rest of my life. It's not the be all and end all. So if I am an imposter, if we start getting really bad feedback, that Lynda doesn't know what she's talking about. Okay. Don't tune in the next time. Yeah. It really doesn't matter that much. It's only you that can build it up. So why not flip it and play it down? Any questions? Oh, good one. How to deal with conflict. It's supposed to be at work, but we have only got a small audience in the forum. So what's the last conflict you had? Okay. Okay. How did you deal with it? And then I got some advice from someone, like, what is the best way to escalate? And they told me the process. So what I was going to do is about the CC their manager. And I wrote an email and I said, this is what you said. This is what you said, this is what I heard, this is how I felt, this is what I expect from you. There are two different kinds of conflict. There is conflict at work and there is conflict outside of work, because conflict outside of work actually goes back to my famous saying is, what anybody else thinks and says about you is none of your damn business. So therefore there's no conflict. Okay, because you can try and argue with me, but if I just say okay, you're going to walk away very upset because you're not going to get what you want. Yeah. So when you go into a conflict with somebody, it's because you want a reaction from that person. If you don't get a reaction from the person, then there's no conflict. Yeah. You just upset somebody or that person has just remained upset. Okay. Yeah. So there's that conflict. In work, it is slightly different because you have to be in that environment with these people. So it's always best, if there is a conflict, to resolve it. And the best way to resolve it is to not think, I'm right, they're wrong. You've just created another conflict. Because if their world, they're right and you're wrong, so you're just going to bash horns. Okay? So these are how to deal with conflict. Talk with the other person, not shout, not argue. If you go to talk to the other person and they are not in the place to talk, walk away. It's not just about you. Okay, so if that person, don't come near me, you make me sick, walk away from that. They're not ready. Okay. Focus on behaviors and events, not personalities. I have worked with the most annoying people on the planet, people that I cannot bear to even look at. And I've worked with them very, very, very positively and got some really great results because their behavior is so much better than their personality. They haven't got a personality, some of them, but behavior-wise, they've been great. So my driving instructor was one, absolutely deadpan. He had no personality. He was beige. It was like, oh my, I did not look forward to my driving lessons at all, but he was an absolutely outstanding teacher. So he taught me to drive. So I worked with him perfectly. I want to have tea with him. I want to go for a drink with him. But he was a very good instructor. Listen carefully, not to your own thoughts. This guy smells, he's horrible, he said this. No. Get your own thoughts out of it. So you're having a conversation with a person that you've had conflict with. Listen to what they're saying and only the words. Only the words. Only the words. When you are having a conversation with somebody else, start it with I. Yeah. Well, I felt this way when you said that. I think you was out of order for doing that. And I believe X, Y, Z. Not you made me say that. You made me upset. You made me cry. No. No one can make you do anything. You choose your behaviors. You choose that. That's all yours. I felt very tearful after you said that. I felt very angry when you used that word. Own it. They can't argue with that. I think this shelf is green. Anyone can tell me it's orange. Couldn't care less. I think it's green. There's no argument there. You can't argue with that. You can go there thinking, girl's colorblind. But I think that's green. But if I say to you, don't be stupid, that's green. You say, no, it ain't. Yes, it is. We've now got a conflict. I think that's green. I think it is. So what are you going to do about that? Is there a conflict? No. You think one thing, I think the other. That's it. Identify the points of agreement, not of disagreement. Yeah, but I can't work with you because you think that's green. Well, what's that got to do with my laptop? Yeah, because I trust it. But what's that got to do with do we agree that that's a laptop? Yeah, then let's work on the laptop. Let's stay away from the green stroke orange shelf. Let's just work on the laptop. Like I said before, if you're in a bad mood, you go out and you notice everything that puts you in a bad mood. Focus on the agreements. All of a sudden, you'll realize there's quite a lot that you actually agree with this person on and not that much that you disagree. So why are we concentrating on the disagreement? Let's concentrate on the agreed stuff. Develop a plan to work on each conflict. Yeah. So you can sit there and say to your friend, well, what we'll do is to help you stop using that word that I don't like. Every time you say it, you've got to put £1 in a jar. Yeah. So now you're helping her to help you. Yeah. Follow through on your plan. Don't just set plans and then forget about them. Yeah. That is what most workplaces will do. Right, we've got a plan in place, but no one's going to police it. It's pointless. Follow through and build on your success. So once you've actually sorted out the conflict, seek that person out to do something else with, just to make sure that this still works. You don't have to be best friends with them. You don't have to agree with them. It doesn't matter. Because if what anybody else thinks of you is none of your damn business, what you think of anybody else is none of their damn business either. And always remember, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Yeah. Yeah. So listen to the words, clarify everything that is said back by paraphrasing. Yeah. Make sure you've got clarity on the words that have been spoken. Because I don't know about you, but I will talk differently to different people that I talk to. So when I go home, I'll talk to my children as their mother. When I'm talking to my friends, I get down and do it and I talk to them how I want to talk to them. You know, if I'm talking to younger people, I try, I'm sorry. I try and talk their lingo. In it though, get it wrong all the time. But this is how we do. We communicate with people, and the spoken word is the last thing that happens when we communicate. Yeah, everything else happens. Your tone, your body language, everything else happens. And it's the same with listening. You can look as if you're listening, or you can listen. Yeah, and it's really hard to listen to somebody that you are angry with. So recognize that. Recognize it and say, you know, I can't even hear you right now because I'm too mad. Let's reschedule. Own it. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, as long as you follow through with your actions. Yeah, I'm too mad to have this conversation with you right now. So let's reschedule. Let me calm down. Own it. Let me calm down. Or if they're getting irate, just say, you know what, you're getting too het up. Let's take a break. I'm not going to leave it. We're going to come back to it, but it's not working right now. Yeah. As soon as somebody shouts, you stop listening. Yeah. Ask questions, clarify and understand it. Identify the points of agreements and disagreements. I would say leave the disagreement bits out if you can, unless that is the prominent bit. Then you need to chop that disagreement down into smaller levels. Within every disagreement, you will find stuff that you agree on. Yeah, this is the crazy thing about when we argue. 99% of the time, we actually agree, but we just disagree with the way it's being said. Yeah. Prioritize the areas of conflict. So once you've got your list of the stuff that needs to be worked on, put them in priority. Yeah, not just you, but the person you've got the conflict with. Agree what the priority, agree what needs to be worked on. What is the most important thing in this conflict that we need to settle? And then you can tick it off when it's done. This sounds like it's going to take weeks to get through one small argument. It can take seconds because you don't have to follow every single step on every single conflict. You could just have a conversation with somebody. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. No, I didn't think that one. Yeah, well, you did say that one. I was upset. What did you say? Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, then fine, done. Yeah, but just bring it back. As soon as it starts to get heated up, bring it back, calm it down, talk it through. Where's the agreements? What are we agreeing on? We disagreed on that, but does that really matter? Is it relevant? No, get rid of it. We're left with this. And most conflicts will be solved like this. And it doesn't cause stress or burnout or imposter syndrome. Develop a plan. We've gone through that. Follow through with your plan. Huge. And build on your success. So look for opportunities to point out progress. Yeah. Work with that person again. Yeah. Confirm that it's okay to work with this person, even if I don't particularly like them. Yeah. How are we all doing? You're with me still? Good. My favorite topic, taking time off. I've got to an age in my life where if I'm tired, I sleep. If I'm in the office, okay, I'm tired, I'm sleeping. Yeah, because there is no point in me even thinking about going through burnout. I'm also very lucky that in my office we have a wellbeing room. So I can just go down to the wellbeing room, put on some meditation music and literally meditate for an hour if I want. Meditation to me is as good as sleeping. Yeah, it just resets everything. So I take time off. Yeah, I always go for an hour lunch, always. And I very, very, very rarely work overtime, no matter how much work there is to do. Because I will go to my boss and I will say, you've given me 40 hours of work to do in a 37.5-hour week. It ain't going to work. Something's got to give. That's what I do. Sometimes it's accepted and sometimes it's not. Most of the time, they will take away something that I didn't particularly want to do anyway. So, all right, I'll do that. Usually palm it off onto somebody else, but I will do the work that's got done. Don't get me wrong, the nature of my job means that, if my system goes down, I pay people. One of the people I pay is just standing there. If my system goes down, which it does quite often, then I will work until midnight to get everybody paid. My job is to pay people correctly and on time, and that's what I try to do. But in doing that, I do 37.5 hours. My assistant does 37.5 hours. If he says he's not taking his lunch break because he's got a piece of work to do, then he goes home an hour early. It's as simple as that. I don't believe in nothing for nothing or something for nothing. No. But more to the point, I need my time off. Yeah? It is important. You should, if you work at a desk, you should walk away from your desk for every 20 minutes for at least 2 minutes. Yeah, I wear a Fitbit tracker. I got to do 250 steps every hour. That's my key. It tells me 10 minutes before you haven't done your 250. Oh, see you in a minute. And I'll go for a walk around the building and I'll come back. Then I can sit down and do my work. Lunchtime, go for lunch. Come back an hour, do my work. 4:30, I'm out the door. I start work at 8, I finish at 4:30 and I'm gone. Bye-bye, see you later. I take holidays. I've never got any holiday left at the end of the holiday year. Always take my holiday. It's important. I go to work to earn money to take time off. How many of you take regular time off? Yeah. Yeah, young people don't seem to know how to take time off. You do take time off because you get breaks at school, so I'm not hearing that. Have a break. It's so important. You have to rejuvenate. You have to recalibrate. You have to just check back in on yourself. The majority of you will just literally go to the loo and that's your break. Get a grip. When you're at home, you take regular breaks. But when you're in the office, you somehow feel as if it's taboo and you're not allowed to. And, oh, look, Joni's staying late. I better stay late to finish this piece of work. The more you do, the more they'll give you. Yeah, sometimes you have to manage up. So if your boss gives you 3 pieces of work that they all need them now, that doesn't mean that you stay until midnight to get them done. It means you go to your boss and say, right, you've given me these 3 pieces of work. What's the priority? Because I can't do all 3. What do you want more importantly? Yeah, they can't sack you for working your hours. But they can sack you when you have burnout and you've done all the work wrong. It's up to you. Hello. What if you're your own boss? Take regular breaks. Tell yourself, excuse me, you've been at your desk for 17 hours, go home. Set a timer. Put alarms all around you that tell you, take a walk, go for a walk in the park, go somewhere, do something. If you've got a garden, go and sit in the garden and look at nature for 10 minutes. Take a break. What are you going to do for yourself when you collapse? Who's going to run your business when you collapse into it? Looking after your mental health while working during the coronavirus outbreak. This one was just kind of put in there just because it's important. Yeah. The majority of us had to work from home. So we didn't have, if we work in an office, you ended up missing out on the colleagues, the companionship, just being in that creative environment. You at school, homeschooling must have been awful. It must have been. Yeah. Considering your parents are more like telling you spend too long on that laptop, get off the laptop, and now all of a sudden that becomes your life. It was very difficult. And coming out of it, I know in the job that I do, I have seen a hell of a lot more people come into me with worse burnout than what they had when they was in the office, because we was led to believe that because now we're working from home, we almost have to prove that we're working. It was so alien. You go into the office, you sit down. I don't know about you, but I used to walk into the office, put my bag down, say hello to everyone. About half an hour before I even turn my computer on, saying hello, how is everybody? How's your weekend? I'm just going to get a coffee. Do you want a coffee? Do you want some water? Okay, then fine, let me go and get that. Walking around, just really talking to people and just feeling that vibe. And then you get on with work. And then it's like, oh, I must talk to Joan because she's got that report that I need. Go downstairs, go and talk to Joan, see somebody else. So you spend a lot of your working life when you're in an office, walking around the office and talking to different people and not even realizing it. And then all of a sudden, you're now in your kitchen table or in your bedroom or in your dining room on one single laptop, on 3 million Zoom calls where, I was hiring people over Zoom. I'd never actually met them. You don't have this, and now you're sending emails to people instead of actually speaking to them. Everything became very electronic and very robotic. And then it got lifted and we all started going back into the office and people were doing this. Oh, I don't know if I can go back out there. COVID's still out there. It's going to get me. Yeah. Or I just love working from home. Now I don't know why have we got to go back into the office. We are getting now people in the HR department demanding that they stay working from home. There's no reason for them to come into the office. It's like, you need to collaborate with your people. You do need this. We are not social individual animals. We are social beings. We need other people. This is how we are, what makes us human. But people now, I know I don't. There was nothing better than sitting down at my desk, think, oh, right, 20 minutes, I need a break. Oh, I'll go and put that load of washing on. So then come the weekend, I had my weekends back because I haven't got to do the washing and the cleaning, the cooking, the ironing, because I did that all during the week in my breaks. So going back to the office, it was like, oh, I wanted to do that washing today. So you kind of learn a new way of life and then you've got to unlearn it. So it's really difficult. Understand that your mental health is being pecked at. Even now, COVID is lifted. It's still out there, but it's lifted, but you're being pecked at. You've still got people sitting there saying, have you been jabbed? Have you not been jabbed? If you haven't been jabbed, you're anti-vaxxer. You've still got all of that still going on over here. We can't fly to certain countries. There's all of this still going on. COVID hasn't gone. And the pandemic is still having a huge impact on your mental health. Please, please, please be aware of it. Notice it. Yeah, that's all this slide is about. Just notice it. Yeah, that's just saying what I said. The wheel of well-being. I love playing with this wheel because I do it every day. So I think, have I got any handouts for the wheel? Yes, I do. I've got some handouts for this wheel of well-being. And what it is that these are the points that we should be looking at on a daily basis, that we should be making sure that we're doing bits and pieces in each of those little sections. So what I do is at the end of each day, I usually have numbers down the side. And I will mark myself as to how high a score I've scored in each of these. And then I'll have a look at it. And then it's like, oh, didn't do much caring for the planet. Caring for the planet to me is getting out into nature. Yeah, making sure that I put the plastic in the plastic, that kind of stuff. I don't mean you have to go and glue yourself to the M25 or anything like that. Yeah, but I take note of all of these aspects and what I've done each day in them. Yeah, don't have to do anything with it, but it just keeps me aware of where I am on a daily basis. And the thing that I find is that if some of them are really low and I look at my mood isn't where I want it to be either. And that's any of them. So any one of these can affect your mental health. Yeah. So I've become a bit of a fiend for the gym. The main reason being is because my subscriptions are quite high and I'm making sure I'm getting the money out of it. But I actually, once I get there, I actually enjoy being on the treadmill and doing all the bits and pieces. So if I don't go to the gym, I feel a bit, I need to get out there. I need to get on that treadmill. Yeah. So that'll be, my mood will drop. If I'm not learning something, that's just me anyway. I like reading. I like knowing, understand. I'm constantly on YouTube looking at things. You know, I'll go in there and think, let me see puppies. Oh, look at that. And then I'm over here doing, you know, quantum physics or something. It just leads on to something else. So I always want to learn something new. This one to me is always high. I always stay up high. My spirit is always high. Yeah. And if that even slightly drops, I'll fix that. No. I, like every human being, we all want to feel good. We all want to be happy. That is our primal instinct. If you think of anything on this planet that you want, there's only one reason why you want it, and that's because you believe in having it, you're going to feel better. There's no other reason to want anything. Yeah, even if you want your ex-partner to fall down a well, it's because you think you're going to feel better. Yeah, no matter what it is that you believe you want, you only want it because you think it's going to make you feel better having it. My theory is, if that's the case, and I know what better feels like, I'm going to feel better now anyway, whether I've got it or not, because that's my choice. So that's what keeps me up here. Yeah. And we are all love. We all are loving beings. We like the feeling of being in love and we like to give love. Hi. People connecting, whether it's your family, your friends, the next door neighbor, the shopkeeper, it doesn't matter. We all like to have a conversation with another human being. How many times have you phoned up, I know, British Gas, and you get that automated service and you already want to put the phone down? Yeah, we don't want to talk to robots. We want to talk to people. Yeah, so keep your people connection up, whether you go onto Facebook or any of the other social medias, and keep contact, keep in contact with your friends and family, whatever it is. Pick up the phone and phone that person you haven't spoken to for a long time. Take notice, i.e. go outside and find 5 green things. Live in the now. It's the only time that really is relevant. But take notice of what's going on around you. You'll be amazed at how much stuff you've missed. Even on that same mundane journey that you take every day going to and from work, if you look out the window of the bus or the train, all of a sudden you'll see something you didn't see before. Yeah, it's always been there, but you missed it. And then I say the planet and the care. Yeah, that could just be caring for other people. It could be caring for the planet. It could be watching a flower grow. It could be anything. But those are really good. And as I say, I try to have a look at this on my life at the end of every day. What did I do? How does my wheel of well-being look? Yeah, so I've got some handouts there that you can take them. Yeah. The other way to look at it is to look at it now and say, okay, then what can I do realistically for being active, keeping learning, spirit giving, blah, blah, blah. There's another handout there that you can do it that way. So it's got a list of all of the different categories down the side, and you write in there what you're going to do. It could be over the space of a week, but then you've also got to sign it. So you're making a promise to yourself that that's what you're going to do for that week. Yeah. And again, nothing in there is to do with work. Your emotions are your guidance system. Your emotions tell you where you are at any moment and any time. You need to listen to your emotions and you need to trust your emotions. But fundamentally, you control your emotions. Not a lot of people understand that, and a lot of people think that their emotions control them because they have a reaction to the emotion. Emotions are motive. They want you to do something. Yeah. So if your emotion is happy, you want to laugh. Yeah. True emotional awareness is about understanding your own emotions, understanding the effects your emotions have on you, and understanding the effect your emotions have on others. And then flipping it and understanding what's coming back. So understanding other people's emotion. So again, going back to the conflict, if you've had an argument with somebody and you think, how the hell are they doing that? Why are they being like that? You don't know what emotion state they're in. So it's trying to understand that. Think of something else. At the moment, you need to give yourself a reason to be happy. And what I'm saying is, if you're happy, a reason for being more happy will keep coming. Yeah. If you have a happy thought and you hold on to that happy thought for 17 seconds, something else will come to make you happy again. Hold on to that for 17 seconds, another happy feeling and thought will come. You can just maintain happiness. What I'm saying is, you know what it feels like to be happy, so choose to be happy. Yeah, if you're already in the realms of depression or some deepest, darkest place, you're not going to be able to get there from there. But you can move up. This is the emotional scale. Go on the internet, type in emotional scale, and you'll get many different variations of this. We need to be able to try and maintain contentment. We should always be satisfied with where we are, what we are, who we are, what we've got, and if we've got. We can sit there all the time. Life is good. Every so often you'll go up. That's great. But as soon as you dip, know that you've dipped and bring yourself back up. Yeah. But if you allow yourself to come right the way down to fear and depression, you are not going to jump from there to there. You're going to have to go up the emotional scale. So if you're in fear and depression, try and find something that remember how it felt to feel insecure and uncertain, because that is better than fear and depression. Then once you're there, try and feel jealousy. That's better than that. Try and move up gradually, because each of these going up is a better feeling than the one below it. It is very easy to go down. Very easy. You have to use your mind, your soul, your body to want to climb up. That's your choice. You can stay there if you like. There's nothing wrong with that. It's only you that's going to feel that. But if you don't want to feel that, then work your way up. If you stay here and everything is great, life is brilliant, I'm grateful for everything I have, stay there. That's the best place to be. Very hard to maintain that 24/7 because life gets in the way. Not hard to maintain that. So maintain here. Yeah. Go on the internet and just type in emotional scale. That will be given to you. And then at any stage you can go back to and see where you sit and decide whether or not you want to go up or down that emotional scale. Coping strategies. Conquering your thoughts. That's basically what I've been saying. You are what you think. So if you think you're happy, you are happy. If you think you're right, you are right. But it doesn't mean that somebody else is not happy or somebody else is wrong. It just means you are what you think. So clean up your thoughts. It sounds really, really simple, and it really, really is. Once you've got a handle on it, once you actually understand what these all mean, you decide how you're going to feel. But if you have knee-jerk reactions to things that happen, then you're giving away your power. So stop reacting and respond. You choose your response. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with the word no. It's protection. It's positive. It's who we are. It's what we are. It's when we want. Now, there are ways to say no. If your boss says to you, I need that report and I need it now, and you say no, yeah, your P45 will be coming. But what you can do is just say, I'm due to go home in 10 minutes. Is it going to take me 10 minutes? If he says, well, I don't know, there's a lot of work, so there's no way on this earth I'm going to get it done for you today. I'll tell you what I'll do it for you tomorrow. You're still saying no, but you're now giving him an explanation. You're not letting him understand that you're not going to just allow him to just, walk all over you. Yeah? Give an explanation to no if you're saying no in a difficult situation. Even if it's, I don't want to do that. There's still an explanation. When to say no. Perfect example of when to say no. We're all going out for burritos. I love burritos. Great. I hate burritos. Why did you go then? Why did you say yes? Say no. You don't like them. Go. Done. Is it a distraction? So if somebody asks you to do something, you ask yourself 3 things. Is it a distraction? If it's a distraction or if it's a distraction, you've got to ask yourself a question. If it's a detour, that might still work in your favor. Is it objectives? If you're going to get an objective out of it and learn from it, then there's a possibility you should say yes. Consider the upside. Ask yourself, will you learn something from this? If there is no upside, why are you doing it? If you are going to gain nothing from it, don't do it. And that means whether it's an extra pay or, positive feedback. If you're not getting anything from it, then it's a no. It's no. But what does self-care look like? It's very, very obvious. It's looking after yourself and putting yourself first. Remember, the universe does revolve around each and individual one of you. You are the most important person in your universe. So make sure you treat yourself that way. If you constantly do for others and put yourself second place, the only thing you're doing is teaching them that you come second. That's the only thing you're doing. So put yourself first, teach them you come first. Love yourself how you want other people to love you. Then that's it. You can't expect somebody to love you if you're not going to love yourself. Why should they?